if I told you that for thousands of years, people have been building this incredible toolkit for the mind? You know, a toolkit designed specifically to help us tackle life's biggest, messiest questions. Well, today, we're going to open that box. So, have you ever found yourself just staring at the ceiling at 3 in the morning, and your brain just hits you with questions like these? Of course you have. We all have. These are the absolute bedrock questions of being human. And yeah, they've been stumping us for centuries. But here's the good news. You don't have to face these massive questions empty-handed. For literally thousands of years, the greatest minds in history have been developing a powerful set of tools designed specifically to help us get a handle on them. Think of it just like that, a toolkit for your mind.
And this toolkit, it's got a name. It's called philosophy. Now, I know that word can sound kind of heavy, maybe a little intimidating, but when you actually look at what the name means, it's one of the most welcoming ideas out there.
That's it. Simple as that. At its absolute core, philosophy is just the love of wisdom. It's the process of thinking really carefully and systematically about the world and, our place in it. The whole point is to help us live a life that's a bit more thoughtful, a bit more reflective. So, how does this toolkit actually work? Well, it pretty much operates in 2 different modes, and both are super important. You can think of it as being both a guide for your life's journey and the gym for your mind. Let's break those 2 modes down. So first, philosophy acts as a guide. It's like a moral compass, right? It offers up principles and values to help us navigate all those complex decisions we have to make. But it's also a mental gym. It doesn't just hand you the answers, no way. It strengthens your mind, training you to think logically, to question your own assumptions, and to really build up the power of independent thought.
Okay, so it's a guide and a gym. Got it. But what does this toolkit actually do? Like, what are its core functions? Well, philosophy basically operates through 3 main actions.
First up is what's called its normative function. This is all about setting standards. It challenges us to ask not just how is the world, but how should the world be? Then you've got the speculative function. This is where we get to be bold and ask those huge what-if questions, exploring all the possibilities beyond what we can see and touch. And finally, there's the analytical function. This is like the precision screwdriver in the kit. It helps us clarify our language and our arguments so our thinking is always sharp and clear.
All right, now for the fun part. Let's actually open this toolkit up and have a look at the specific instruments inside. In philosophy, these are known as the branches.
The first tool we're pulling out is metaphysics. Whoa, this is the big one. This tool tackles the biggest questions of all, about the fundamental nature of reality itself. It asks things like, what's actually real? What's the universe made of? What does it even mean to exist? Okay, next up we've got epistemology. This is the tool that helps us think about thinking. It makes us ask a really crucial question. How do we actually know the things we think we know? What's the real difference between just an opinion, a strongly held belief, and a proven fact? Then there's axiology. This is the study of value. It's the branch that helps us figure out what's truly worthwhile in life. And this tool is so important, it actually has 2 more specialized tools inside it. The first one is ethics, and this one is absolutely critical. It helps us navigate the tricky world of moral values and principles. This is the tool we pull out every time we ask ourselves, what is the right thing to do here? The second part of axiology is aesthetics. This tool is all about exploring the nature of beauty, art, and taste. It's what we're using when we ask, what makes something beautiful? What's the point of art anyway? And our final tool is logic. Think of this as the level or the tape measure in your toolkit. It is the absolute foundation. It's the study of correct reasoning. Logic helps us build strong, solid arguments and, just as importantly, spot the weak and flawed ones. It's really the basis of all clear thinking. So, let's put it all together. This is such a great summary of our toolkit, right? You've got metaphysics asking what is real, epistemology asking how do we know, axiology asking what is valuable, which then breaks down into ethics asking what is right, and aesthetics asking what is beautiful. And the one tool that holds it all together and makes sure it works, logic, asks how do we reason correctly. So, okay, we have this incredible toolkit. But why does any of this actually matter? Why should you really care about metaphysics or logic in your day-to-day life? Well, because it's not just some abstract mental exercise. Using these tools actually changes you. It sharpens your thinking, it gives you clarity on your purpose, and it helps you build a more consistent, coherent way of seeing the world. Ultimately, it helps you become a more thoughtful, more reflective, and a more ethical person.
In the end, philosophy doesn't hand you a pre-built house to live in. It gives you a complete, powerful toolkit. So the real question, and the one I really want to leave you with, is this. Now that you have the tools, what are you going to build?